any decision that we take and fulfill the pledges. I'm grateful to all of you, and Mr. Conte, we single you out among the pledges for your very generous contribution. What has happened here today validates the position I have always held, that those of us back home are Indians, but the fuel that makes Indian work is in the diaspora. That belief of mine is validated by the pledges that are given of more than $3 million. And I know that you have set yourself the target date of 1st of November. Yes. But I live here convinced that all these pledges will be turned in before the 1st of November. Maybe before. And talking of the pledges, I also want to register my profound appreciation to my sister, Mbana Kanye, for pledging $1,000 on behalf of Mba. I think Mba knew the very essence of having enough funds at hand in order to really carry out his political program. So pledging that on his behalf, to his memory, is really doing what he would have done if he was here. I thank you very much for that. Well, we are all energized by these events. We have all shown our commitments, or at least we have made a pronouncement of our commitments. But what is important is to keep this fire burning. Never let the flame go out. We must continue to keep the momentum. Somebody tells me today that there is a one-man chapter in Nebraska. I'm sure with the solo membership of the Nebraska chapter, a lot will come out of Nebraska. And what comes out of Nebraska will certainly keep the flames burning.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you on behalf of your own party, or on your own behalf, for these sacrifices that you have made, for really showing to the whole world that this is your party, and that for your party you will do anything. And those people who have come out of state, again, we register our appreciation. I've not seen Karamba for I don't know how many years. And this has given me an opportunity of really seeing him. It has taken me several years to see my sister, Muni Muni. And of course, it is this occasion that has afforded me. If anybody has benefited from this, it is I. And I want to say thank you very much. It is the United Democratic Party that can do this for people. It is the United Democratic Party that people can look to for this sort of occasion. let us, in trying to promote the political fortunes of our party, get ourselves rededicated to our country, Gambia. That we, the members of the United Democratic Party, will do everything possible within our powers as human beings to do for the Gambia what Gambia wants us to do for it. We will create the Gambia that we want. We will create the Gambia that our children and grandchildren deserve. We will not use political office for self-aggrandizement. We eschew the use of positions or political privilege for self-enrichment. In the interview that I just concluded with Africa? TV and Darboe, one of the things I told them was that a United Democratic Party-led government will pay maximum attention to the development of agriculture. Because I want to see my cousins in Ousainou and Darboe, or my aunts in Karantaba, or some distant relatives in Nampuku, to see them out of poverty. And we have to pay heed, serious heed, to developing our agricultural industry in order to be able to fight the scourge of poverty. We must rededicate ourselves to this idea, to this principle, to this crusade. I am sure we will not say we can only, but I say that we will.
Thank you very much, DJ, before you play the national anthem, go ahead.
For those of you that are following us live on the Gambian Talents TV, the United Democratic Party has just concluded their Congress actually, that they been doing the past 2 days. You are watching it live on the Gambian Talents TV. As you can see, he has spoken and had thanked the people of the UDP, that the UDP are the ones that $4,000. The UDP has raised $61,000. Right now they have 4,000 added to that, 60,100. That makes it, or brought it to about $65,000 is what the UDP has raised. About $65,000 is about what the UDP has raised so far. As you can see, people, it is about $65,000 that the UDP has raised so far here in Seattle. $65,000, which is over $3 million, is to support their party leader. This is the first event that he has since after he was removed from office as Vice President of the Gambia about a week ago. Immediately after he was removed, he came to the United States to actually meet with the Seattle Gambians, the UDP militants and supporters who are here in the United States. Delegates came from all over, and of course the first day they gave a lot of speeches, and right now, as you can see them, they just did what they have to and have raised about $64,000 or $65,000. $64,100, as you can see on the screen. A total of 61 people pledged. A total of 64,000. Another 4,500 has been set, and that brought it to about $65,000 that is raised. Kon lolu moy li nga xamne xewna fi ci jamono ji ni ñu ngi leen ay bëggee yeen ñuy topp ci Gambian Talents TV kon gis ngeen ko mais yo wote bi jegeñ na ndong li naka nga gisee event bi rek ci gàttal. national anthem bi. kon bokka yene ko gisando on Valentin Seattle jang anya jele men keta jang alhamdulillah UDP just had their congress men fela ban san thing ñine keta jang
guys recorder for your attention
the UDP just had their congress that just ended at this minute, this second, and they are actually doing this.
From California, playing $500.
Yes, so the numbers are going on.
$500.
The numbers are going on this minute, this second. They have just raised about $65,000 here in Seattle, Washington, which is up over $3 million is definitely to support their party leader and the programs and activities of their party. Now it's time for him to ko gisando alfolol be jibe rola ni be tekan Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, the United Democratic Party held their Congress here in Seattle, Washington, the USA chapter, of course, and they have been having this all along. For the past 2 days, several speeches have been delivered, and the party leader just finished giving his last statement after they raised about $65,000 on behalf of the party, which is about $3 million that they have raised on behalf of their party to support their party. Of course, this is what is happening here. The UDP has just raised about $3 million, which is $65,000 to actually support their party. So that is a big development for the party. This happened shortly after the party leader and Secretary General was removed from his position as Vice President of the country. Barely less than a week, he made it to Seattle, Washington to meet with delegates, UDP delegates from all over the USA. So this is what happened, as you can see, and the UDP folks are very happy right now. They are celebrating their victory and what has just happened right now. This is what actually happened here, and I think this is a big development in the United Democratic Party. The event was attended by Lord Mayoress of Banjul, Rohim Malik Lo, as you can see. She's been in the building, came all the way from the Gambia. The party leader and Secretary General, Ousainou Darboe, there he is. As you can see here, Secretary General and Party Leader of the United Democratic Party. Right now, of course, we're about to have a quick interview here with Mr. Karamba. Of course, he is a dynamic member of the party. Mr. Karamba, greetings to you.
Thank you for being here.
Come a little farther away from the sound. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Yes, thank you for this young people. Can you stop that? Yes, you came all the way from Florida. A very dynamic member of UDP and a vocal person when it comes to Gambian politics on social media. You attended the Congress. It's finished. What's your take? What's your analysis?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you because you were there yesterday and have seen you work extended hours with professionalism and with a smile on your face. I want to thank you because the media is important. Now, to answer your question, it was a superb Congress. I was very impressed with the organization, with the attendance, and then with the general tone of the discussion. So all in all, I couldn't be happier. And I think this will set a standard for the direction that we are taking. UDP is always been in business, but we are reinvigorated now. We are energized, and I think those of you in the media and in the larger population would see just how committed we are. to the cause of democracy, and specifically to make sure that the democracy that we have all earned together is consolidated and that the country is put on the right path.
Yes. What is your reaction to folks who say this was a hiding moment for the party leader and Secretary General, that of course he was removed from office last week, and the heat is too much in Gambia, he just came to the US to actually hide out?
No, that is not correct, because you have seen him, and then I think people watching your platform have also seen him. The energy and the enthusiasm here is not for somebody who is hiding.
Give me 1 second, let me talk to, hey, young people, can you please stop that for a second? Let me turn this off. Sorry about that. Yes, Mr. Karamba, you say what now?
Now, I was going to say, you've seen him, and this is not somebody who is hiding from anything. And you've also seen what has happened just this weekend. On Friday, they were in Tujering, the party was there, and this is an example of just how dynamic and then how diverse and how diffuse UDP is. Mr. Darboe wasn't there, but then the rest of the party was there. Ajiyam Seka was there, Alhaji Darboe was there, and then the other members of the leadership were there, Ahmadu Sani were there, and it was a vigorous campaign, it was a good rally, it was great turnout, and then they were in Bundung also. Saturday, while we were here, there was an incredible rally over there. And you could see wherever Gambians are, in the country and outside of the country, they are looking at UDP and then seeing a party that represents the aspirations they have for the country.
But what is your reaction to folks who say, okay, that is the more reason why the president, of course, removed Mr. Darboe, because he was more focused on political activities than his duties as vice president?
No, I don't think that is the reason the president removed him. He might have other reasons, but he's the leader of a political party, the largest in the country. And that his job as vice president and before that as foreign minister, you have to understand, he did an incredible job in both positions. There's no doubt about that. The whole resetting of our relationship with the world, he was the principal diplomat for that. Remember, we came out of the diplomatic leper house. Nobody was talking to Gambia, nobody wanted to do any business with the Gambia. Ousainou traveled the world, I can say dozens of countries. And each country, he represented Gambia well. The world opened up to us. And that culminated in the pledges in Brussels. And you remember the president specifically singling him out and the then finance minister because they were the point people working with their technicians that helped us in that regard. So their jobs, all of our principals serving in the cabinet did their jobs with exceptional capability, zero problems. They've maintained their integrity and they have functioned well. The president has other reasons for relieving them, and then we are not questioning that because our constitution empowers him to do that. And then we are not entitled to judge.
The president was our Barrow. Barrow was our Barrow.
Yes. Well,
so when is he still our Barrow? Is he still UDP's Barrow?
He's not UDP.
He's no longer your Barrow?
No, he's never been. He's not UDP.
He was your Barrow though?
Yes, he was. And, yeah, but he's not. Clearly,
right now he's no longer a member of the UDP.
No, well, no, he's on his own.
Since when?
Well, we are no longer serving in his cabinet.
So well, there are a lot of people. It's said that okay, it's a coalition government, or however it started. He started with the UDP.
I understand that.
Yes, and he was there.
But remember, he resigned from UDP, and the UDP supported him. I campaigned very hard for myself. I gave money, and then I used whatever little influence I have with my family and friends, and delivered votes for him. I do not regret that, because we had a brutal tyrant. He had to go. However, once he was in office, I am not satisfied with his governing style. I don't believe he represents the kind of forward-looking, modern Democrat we are looking for in New Gambia.
But don't you think you guys had a role to play in that though? Well, you guys brought him to the Gambians though. You guys introduced him to the Gambians, say here is Barrow, he's our Barrow, give him a chance. So did you guys vet him properly to know that? I heard somebody spoke at your platform yesterday and said that, I spoke to somebody and they said Barrow is a jam farmer from day one. No. And a few people share that notion. So you guys didn't know that?
We faced. 3/4 of our executive were in prison. And he came up and we presented him as our candidate.
You didn't have other candidates? Anybody better than Barrow?
At the time we presented Barrow. So you can conclude that if we had somebody better, we would have probably presented him. So the honest answer is he was the one that came up. But nonetheless, he was our candidate. And like, every good member of the team, we went to bat for him. The idea was that he will come and learn on the job, but he's not growing on the job, he's growing out of the job. So because that does happen, when life gives you lemon, you try to make lemonade out of it. And he came up and we worked hard. All of us did. You are sort of in the media business, but you are also a citizen. You wanted something better for your country. And I'm sure most Gambians proceeded based on that kind of an arrangement. So he was there as a consequence of that. I do not regret supporting him against a tyrant. No, however, I have no confidence in his governing style, and I'm not a supporter of him.
Well, when did your change of heart actually happen? Because I know a lot of people in UDP, almost everybody was there. From when people say, okay, let's give him a chance, they say, no, let's not give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. I mean, a lot of people. But then change of heart started happening in the UDP camp. For you, when did your actual change of heart took place with you personally?
It was in the cumulative, as the facts came up, because when he was put into office, I thought, like I just told you, he would grow into the job, because clearly he was not prepared for the job. But then the presidency is, you don't go to school to become president. But if a lot of people that have substance in them, that are willing to learn, quickly learn on the job, and then they become good leaders. My view was, having worked very hard, campaign for him, and then him winning, it was my expectation that he would learn on the job and govern as a modern Democrat. My issue with him is he's governing like the 1960s, 70s African autocrat, where the office gets into your head, and then you begin to view good counsel as, personal opposition to you. And everybody, you live here in the United States. When the door closes, people who are advisors to the president will tell him things. You have to do this, you need to do this. Not because they have anything against him, but then they want him to succeed. So I thought, with our principals and other wise people in the country who will tap into them, they'll help him govern. He didn't do that.
But then when Barrow came out first, you guys had a big influence. A lot of people said a lot of the positions in the cabinet, as well as the political positions, were given to UDP principals.
Well, we had three. The three that he fired are the three UDP.
Yeah, but then we were talking of the ambassadors and other political appointments. A lot of them, the diplomacy, the diplomatic corps, most of it were UDP.
The only, yes, that is true.
A lot of them were UDP.
I agree with that. But
yes.
Look at what
so UDP had a big influence. How did you guys lose grip of that? You had a lot of influence, bro.
In our system, it is an executive presidency. The president has a lot of powers. And then if that power is not exercised judiciously, you get into the direction that you are getting. Because if I am a foreign minister, and then you appoint somebody ambassador, you don't consult me, that is, you are not taking counsel. That is not the way government is supposed to work. But under our system, the president could do that. And he has done that. He has, so when Ahmed was running the finance ministry, remember Ahmed Ousainou?
Yes.
And if you have time, you need to go and research. He passed 2 budgets. Each of them, the first one he passed, he reduced the deficit by 90%. He stabilized the economy, and then because he was saying no, he was saying we don't have money, we cannot do this. And what did the president do? He removed him from that position. He brought somebody who was Yahya Jammeh's finance minister, who squandered our money illegally and then engaged in fraudulent conduct. He brought that person back because he wanted somebody who would say yes for everything that he wants. He brought that guy, he leased a plane for 25 million to come to New York. Ahmad would not have agreed to that.
Yeah, but then we have seen the likes of Dr. Siddharth Job and others whose integrity didn't allow them to continue to work with Yahya Jammeh or other governments. All of your principals you mentioned continued to work until Barrow sent them packing, until Barrow, removed them from office. Did they not actually feel the same way? Could they not have been principled enough to say, okay, well, we are giving him counsel, he's not listening, he's not following direction, or whatever it is, that we are the experts, he's not leaving us to do our job, he's micromanaging us, therefore we are going to leave. Why didn't they leave?
Fair enough. I will tell you, and then Mr. Ousainou did confirm that in an interview here today. He had considered leaving, and then he had put it before the UDP leadership and then he was overruled. Because we are a democratic organization. Ousainou doesn't prevail all the time. But nonetheless, we are also the largest stakeholders in this transition period. We have the majority in parliament. There is a lot of stuff on the table that we have told voters we will look into. That's why people voted for our people. So that being that level of a stakeholder also comes with the burden of the responsibility. And then when the president is not taking counsel, it's not a good thing. But you try to work around the situations, hoping that he will see the wisdom. You know, and that is how government works. You cannot just say, I am not getting my way, I am going to park and leave. Because if you do that, you'll be giving up on the voters who have confidence in you. They may not have confidence in the guy who is president, but then they have confidence in wise, capable people who are honest. None of our people that serve in cabinet, nobody will ever come to you and tell you they have misappropriated a dollar. Nobody will come to tell you they have not shown up for work one day.
But it is said that a lot of the things that are being claimed, for example, you're talking about the good job that Ousainou did. Last year, of course, we saw what happened at the National Assembly where the finance minister was asked about the traveling expenses of the government, and it was over $200 million. And that happened between January and June of 2018, and Ousainou was minister at the time.
Of course.
So what is your reaction? How would you reconcile that for us?
Okay. Listen, the travel issue was a system-wide failure because we came in and then people were abusing travel privileges government-wide, and then you could say
but that starts with the president and the
finance minister is responsible for the budget that he prepares. When people go over their budget, that is abuse within the ministry level. Ousainou will not. The first thing he did when he came in was to introduce austerity. He simply told everybody who would listen that we cannot do everything that we want. Bansang Hospital needs 20 million. We know they need 20 million. We don't have it. We have 5 million. The money is not there. Because the guy is a professional finance guy. He knows that you cannot live within your means. He was removed primarily because he said no.
But then what happened to those, though? The monies we are talking about here, the travel and all the others, who should take responsibility of that? That happened under his watch.
What he does is to appropriate money. If he gives you as your ministry and then you blow more than your travel budget before the end of the fiscal year, he cannot be held responsible for that. What he will do then is, if the next budget cycle comes in, to cut your travel allowance. That's what he can do. But pursuant to a budget being prepared, you cannot then go back and say the finance minister is responsible for people in the tourism ministry or sports, youths in sports, going to Azerbaijan and then spending $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 to go down there. He's not responsible for that. That was Henry Gomez's problem. Because he could not be at his ministry and then directing how resources are used within the Ministry of Youth. But when you are assessing the record of a finance minister, you have to look at it in the totality of how he presented the budget. Did he cut the deficit down? Yes, his first budget, he cut the deficit by 90%. He brought the debt down and then he improved the reserves. And then he was also successful in making sure that he inspired donor confidence. It was partly because of the great job he did, together with the foreign minister, that we were able to secure the goodwill. The goodwill was to the Gambian people, but then they were able to make Gambia's case. They went to Canada, they went to Germany, they went to Austria, they went to France, they went to the UN, and they went to the World Bank, and each of them did great work. I am familiar with specific actions they took on behalf of the country. All this goodwill came as a result of people saying, Gambians have done an incredible thing. We have serious, capable people who are coming, we are listening to them. You live here, you know. If you sit down with these people over here, after 10 minutes they will be able to assess whether you are somebody they can do business with or not. So you need capable, credible people. And that's what these people are. So they did well. To the extent that the goodwill was materializing, it was because they could look around and they say, hey, this guy can do something, this guy can do something, let us trust them with our taxpayers' money.
So you have made the case that Barrow is no longer our Barrow, he's no longer UDP. Is he a threat to UDP? Because you think so? We have a lot of, a good number of people from Barrow. Of course, we have the Darboe by forces, we have the Lamin Champs, we have the Dusanos, and all those people we have very influential part of the UDP executive.
Yes, that will be only one way to measure that. That will be only one way to measure that, Mr. Youth, is to go back to the people. When it is all said and done, whereunto who hand,
wow.
at the end of the day, people, they'll go back to the people. You know, and then the people will decide. But to your question, I'm not concerned about him.
He's not a threat to UDP?
No, I'm not concerned about him.
Why not?
I will be on the ground by the next election. I'll go to my home, and I am sure when he comes, he will win where I come from.
What is your reaction to, in fact, folk who say a lot of you guys are in the diaspora are involved because you won positions, not only with UDP, but even in the struggle? He himself came out and said those things, that a lot of the people in the diaspora were interested in positions, and because he didn't give positions, that's why they're mad at him now.
You are in the diaspora, and you know the diaspora is diverse. I will speak for myself. I do not want any government work.
You are on record, Mr. Karamba.
No, I don't want any government work from Barrow. Even if UDP wins, I don't want any government work. If I go to Gambia, I'll go to where I come from, I will farm, and I will do business. I will not looking for any work from anybody.
You are on record for saying that on Gambian Talent. I'll knock on your doors when you and your Secretary of State or Minister for whatever.
If I am offered, I will not accept.
You will not accept?
I will support my government. I will be there as part of people that will give counsel. I'll be there and support them and cheer them. And if they are going wrong, I will say you're going wrong. And that is one thing that I think that differentiates me from other people. For me, the investment is in the country. I want the country to succeed. I think Barrow is not a good leader, but I don't want Gambia to fail. That is why we will focus on making sure that our parliamentary faction focuses exclusively on the interest of the country. Anything that comes that is not in the interest of the country, we will not go along.
Yeah, but some people have the notion that, well, we were trying to have two presidents in the case of Darboe and Barrow, and that is where the falling apart started, because Darboe was trying to micromanage. At first, he had control over Barrow, and of course we've seen that in the appointments of a lot of the people. But finally, of course, daf ko don deglu li ñoo wax ne ku yer sa kuy bala daan ken daan la. Eventually, Barrow didn't listen to him anymore.
Let me tell you about Ousainou. He's a humble, modest man. Never done the or anything. He wanted to be good player in the cabinet.
But we've seen the lawyer Darboe Bankota song, which he sang right after the parliamentary election. A lot of people said, no, even he sang this in the Gambia right after the parliamentary election. That lawyer Darboe Bankota.
Yes, because lawyer Darboe has been in politics, and then his supporters believe that he's a capable person. So that is just a song that reflects that. At the end of the day, it's not up to whether I sing it or somebody else sings it. But what I'm trying to tell you, this is a good man, he's a humble man, he asks nothing of others. He gives all of his to the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karamba. Your final words? Yeah, a lot of your colleagues, Yunus Haidara and others, are watching you live this minute. What's your final word to our viewers?
My final word is that this is a democracy we should all be invested in. We all work very hard, not only UDP. You were here when we are putting it. I worked with 3 different election cycles with my friends and colleagues here, people like Musa Jeng, Banka Coach. We've been trying to put coalitions together. This is about our country. We succeeded. And pursuant to that, this is a democracy we must safeguard. And then we can't be spectators. I urge everybody to be fully engaged. You people in the media, nekal and the kisi-kisi. People should explain themselves. If you find something that is not explained, you need to ask for answers from everybody. Elected people, people that have Kadu, they need to be responsible to all of us. To my fellow citizens, don't sit down and rest on your laurels. Democracy requires safeguarding. The only people that keep a democracy are the people that are willing to get up and say, this is wrong, we are not going to go for it, this is right, let us support it. Bring this Gambia first. Let us stop trying to politicize everything. If a democracy is a threat, it's not a UDP only problem. It's got to be your problem too.
Absolutely.
Because Kubuga Karnar Sagame, you are in the media. That is
well, I will tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm on record. Say this is Asia. I wrote officially to request to have an interview with Darboe on this, to have an interview with Rohilo, and I've made every effort, including calling them and actually writing officially And until this minute, I am not granted. I was told, oh, Dangen Warabai Darboe, you should not ask him questions. You guys should this thing. This guy is just coming from here. They are here. Ask them. All of them. They've been giving me the running around. And I approached you yesterday. You told me it was going to happen today. Eventually, I see, of course, opportunity being given to others. I don't know what the thing is with that. But I have written officially to actually request for an interview with both Darboe and Rockilo. Eventually, I had one with...
Let me just say this. I want Darboe to have access to him. I am for openness, and then I'm for any time media people have questions.
You told me so yesterday.
Okay. Let me look into it, and I will try to address it. Because it's not right that you request an interview.
I had requested it officially. I have written, and for the past 2-3 weeks, because I did the advertisement for this event for them.
I am a guest. As you know, I don't live here. But I will talk to the host, and I think that needs looking into. They should talk to you. You are a journalist, and you have questions. And Darboe should give you answers. So if to the extent that happens, I will try to look into it.
Finally. Yes. I love your professionalism. Finally. You be probably grooming Mr. Karamba. They're grooming you, maybe.
I am a farmer. I will go back and farm, and I will invite you to my farm.
They're probably grooming you. Finally. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Good job.
Yes,
right.
That's Karamba. MashaAllah, you have heard him. That's Karamba. You've heard the words of wisdom that he shared with the people. UDP just held their Congress. And they just finished. What's the homalaj? The few questions. I naka def. Mang la gis yaa ngi ñaawale fii.
Déguma ko nag.
Yaa ngi ñaawale kay.
Over excited bi la ñaawale.
Excitement bi lan moo ko waral.
Xam nga ñu dañoo noise na.
ñu ne yéen ngeen ay di ñu APRC. Because green rek nga daan gis Gambia léegi Gambia foo dem yellow nga jàkkaarloo. Te parti rek ngeen gom. Naka seen song bi naka tuddaati sax. Song bi naka tuddaati sax.
Alewo Fansage.
Tiel.
Lan la wax ci kër gi tey. Man dama dégg kaddu bu siiw lan la waxoon tey.
Lu mel ni
lan la wax ci suñu parti bi. Lan la wax ci
seen strong déedéet yow waxal ko sa bopp kay.
Pa Ousmane ñu ñëw di bi ñoo noonu. Xam nga lu tax. Ñun bëgg dañ ko bëgg. Seen kom dañ ko bëgg. Xam nga am na lu ci gën a neex mooy. loo gëm dafa sax sa xol. loo gëm dafa sax xam nga loo bëgg. loo bëgg. doo dee bëgg mu yaatu.
waaye ñu ne yéen parti rek leen léegi yéen a fu ko APRC teggi yéen foofu ngeen teg seen tànka fu ko APRC.
ku farloo ko moom.
waaw.
bus driver bi wàcc si kilifa bi. ñun saaga nañu.
ñu ne loolu leen naqari nag seen kilifa gi mu génnee moo leen naqari. Depuis bi mu formé Barrow Youth Movement la xoli waa UDP commencé di cox.
Yàlla Adama Barrow ko. Ako ni faafaate lu ko noonu. Man ni faala soose wala di ko yaa.
Ni faala ko raté ta.
Faala ko raté tey la ko ci tol nak di ko. Faa kendo. Di mo te faama handi ala di ko sa ne ko so tini. Alors ko da mo da te. Ousseynou da ko liggéey. Kii mooy dogo kendo dama dogo kendo. Dego kendo yoro la ñu baloo ko. Ñi na diaka waliya. Wala ay si. Nkata ko la tay biir ko rama. Na ko to waliyo ti bita ram la ko ci def ko doon. Kii nga gis ni. Dogo kendo yoro la ñu daako. Ni mu yelo ko. Kii ba maamam doon dem. Ousseynou daako la bàyyee dogo. Ni ngi man sa yàlla. Aba yoro na wali yàlla def ko doon. Daal ñun di ne ko gonde te kay mo wax la ne dama ko gaay UDP we are nobody's punching back.
Well ñu ne yéen opposition moo sax seen xol bi da ngeen like opposition and playing the victim card. You like playing the victim card. ñun ñooy victims yi ñun ñoo fi gën a dee ñun lañ gën a gaañ ñun lañ gën a lii sax but loolu la ñeneen ñi di wax ñu ne UDP like playing the victim card. Ok ñun ñooy victimes yi dañ ñu rey lu bari dañ ñu gaañ dañ ñu lifin.
xam nga lu xew. kenn bëggu tabee Pa Ousmane. te kenn bëggu ñu raadoo. Pa Ousmane. xam nga àddina bi bakkan jaama rek la bëgg soo gisee yàlla taf ko si kaw jaama la bëgg. Pa Ousmane am na su ñu war dëgg rek képp ku ñu laa doo yow Gambia amoon na jëmi jamono fii lañ nekk di yow kenn du génn parce que moo faa man sama siiri ngi waaye ñun duñ moo war responsible ñun UDP gi nga tey ñaata ak waake tey 3 million plus they haven't seen anything yet Ousainou Darboe dëkk bu mu dem state bu mu dem America fi dafa amee 3 million
acca boobu
ba 2021 ne luy jooy jooy
jërëjëf Fatou thank you very much kon mbokk yi yéen a ko diggandoor that is what happened here at the UDP Congress here in Seattle. This is the end of it. Banta Bake jeex na trop Banta Fereng ne ko gis ngeen ko waa UDP. This is the end of it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel Gambian Talents TV on YouTube and Facebook. We thank you all for watching and for listening. Thank you very much. We have to end this interview.